Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks so much for having me today. My own name's Cian Corbett. I'm a digital and innovation marketing manager with AIB. I've been here for about 3 years before spending a couple of years in agency side alongside my ex-colleague, Aisling Blake. And today we're talking about purpose in times of change. And you have to say times of change is to put it lightly, really, isn't it? I mean, it's the reason that I'm in my kitchen and not in a lovely venue talking to you guys. And it's the reason I'm wearing a blazer and a comfy pair of slippers. So that it's a really interesting one in that when we look at where exactly we are at the moment. I read a really nice article from another ex-colleague of mine, Dave Tallon, and the way he put it was really nice. He said we're living in a kind of a liminal space. We're kind of caught between times. We're not pre-COVID and we're not yet post-COVID. So we're at this bizarre kind of limbo, this intersection of a change, of a transition between technology and culture and brands. And it's nearly like the normal rules of life don't really apply at the moment. And he had a really nice expression that gravity doesn't apply, or gravity isn't the same here. And for all of us, we've all kind of questioned how we're living our lives at the moment. Some of us are looking at, do I like working from home? Or am I looking forward to going back to the office? What's my relationship with exercise and with food and with my family? And for us then as brands, it would be crazy not to review how are we speaking to our customers in these times, and how are we supporting them? And that's essentially what we're talking about today. Can we live our purpose a little more through our advertising? And that's certainly something that we did back at the beginning of the pandemic, where we reviewed what our digital communications were. And that was kind of where we arrived on it, which was we were going to put the social back into social media. Like, one concern that we had was that the platforms on digital and social had evolved to such a rate that they became broadcast channels. It was exactly the place to go when you wanted to get cheaper cost per views, when you wanted to get higher click-through rates. And I think we're seeing that reflected in the stats that Suzanne just presented there, that a 22% rise in social media in spends. And that's absolutely where we were looking at. We said social media is absolutely a huge opportunity for brands to speak to audiences. I suppose our question was, are we speaking in the right way? Are we chasing impressions, and are we chasing those big numbers rather than being concerned about what values are we imbuing when we do speak to them? And I'm sure we've all been in meetings where we talk about eyeballs on content and impressions, and sometimes it's easy to forget, the people behind the eyeballs. So what emotional space are you occupying once you get those impressions? And that's exactly where we arrived at, really, that, we needed to put the social back into social media. I think it's interesting that, it's...
Ian, can I just interrupt you there? We're not seeing your slides moving, just so you know.
Oh
We're
yeah, no, that's my my
After
dramatic.
your dramatic entrance. Thanks.
Um, and it being 2021, I noticed that I've been speaking at conferences now for 10 years, and I was speaking about the evolution of social media through that. And it certainly started off as, oh, sorry, I got frozen there. I think I jinxed myself there. Sorry, I'm completely frozen. Oh, I'm sorry, my edge is broken. Sorry. Sorry, I need to log back in. Okay, sorry, I'm going to pause for 2 seconds. So as we saw the evolution of social media, we saw that it went from these relationship building tools to building communities around your brand, and that was really the hallowed ground. That you could live your purpose and really demonstrate your relationships and build on those relationships, to the point where I felt we nearly lost sight of that. The tools themselves got so advanced that we were able to retarget people, really chase people around the internet, and you could say that we actually went too far in that endeavor. And that's what I want to speak about today, which is kind of putting the social back into social media and really using these digital channels to live your purpose. So a lot of people will have recognized that AIB has a substantial sustainability agenda. And this this is something that we started about 2 years ago under the campaign of We Pledge to Do More. And that was AIB's commitment to really imbuing a sustainability agenda and bringing that to life through, by green mortgages, by making green bonds available, green loans, and our partnerships with our charity partners. We have a fantastic sustainability report. If that is your thing, it's a great report, a lot of charts. And I suppose then the challenge for us in our advertising and our content was, well, how do we really bring this to life? How do we live our purposes through this content? So we have one of our partners is Food Cloud, and they have a fantastic mission, which is to eliminate food waste. And for anyone who hasn't checked them out, I would really advise it. It's an absolute pleasure working with them. So instead of just telling people that we work with them and we sponsor their initiatives, what we actually do is we collaborate with them on content. So here was a piece of content that we made with them on World Food Day. And instead of just saying, we to co-create content with us, to give advice and to empower our followers and our communities that we work in to eliminate food waste themselves. Similarly, we found with them on, there we are. We found that at Christmas time, food waste is a significant challenge where a lot of people stock up their fridges and they don't know what to do with this leftover food. So we got them to co-create some really useful content, which was empowering our followers to actually tackle food waste themselves. So instead of telling people that we have products or telling people that we have a sustainability agenda, we're really trying to invite them to join us on the journey with them. Similarly, we've a really useful partnership with GIY, which are Grow Your Own. Their initiative is that we would reduce food miles on our food, and that we would live more sustainably. Again, we're reaching out to our communities, and we're empowering them through information and through content that has nothing really to do with products at all. What we're doing is we're inviting them to join us on a journey, and we're empowering them with some really useful hints, tips, and tricks to really bring that sustainability initiative to life. And the fact that they're going out on digital channels, it should feel native to those channels, that we're not sticking out as a brand who is running from campaign to campaign, that this is a continued commitment and a continued embodiment of those sustainability agendas. Similarly, we run a sustainability conference every year, which has now gone virtual. And what we did was we asked our publisher partners to help us out with this. So while we had a conference, we gave it a really nice kind of consumer-facing lens by reaching out to Today FM, who helped give away sustainable travel alternatives. So by giving people vouchers to bike shops, to actually start to really think about how they're living their lives every day. And again, as we're in this kind of liminal space, people are reviewing, am I living as sustainably as I could? And for us as a brand, really, it's about making that as easy as possible and capturing that in content. We also try to bring our brand purpose to life through storytelling. So, one of the great things about working with AIB is that we do have access to spend trend data. So we were able to kind of hold a mirror up to Irish society and show people how they were living this year versus last year, and kind of bring that to life in really interesting content. So there on World Car Free Day, we were able to say that, we can see that spend trends are down for cars. There's less spends in petrol stations, so we're seeing that there's less driving happening. So on World Car Free Day, we're encouraging people to kind of, live more sustainably and really question whether the way they were living is matching up to what they would like to live in a sustainability agenda. Similarly, we try to do things not just within sustainability, but within our other campaigns as well. So some of you, if you're parents of teenagers, you may have come across the Future Sparks Festival. Traditionally, this was a physical festival held in the RDS. Last year, this was, if you look at the date, this was totally aligned with the first lockdown, which was really serious. What we tried to do here was we said that this interaction with the youth audience, it was too important to let slide. The the youth audiences really kind of rely on this type of content to learn. They get a kind of a view really of what working life is like. So we have speakers from across different industries, that they speak in a very personalized way to these students. So we brought that whole festival online, which they were able to enjoy from the comfort of their home. What was nice, this was recognized at the Social Media Awards, as well as really supporting customers and youth audiences at a time when they were really at a loose end. Their schools were closed. Parents and teachers alike were finding it quite a challenge to get them engaged in educational content, and AIB were able to step into that void. And it should be noted then that there's a challenge on brands, not just to speak when we're in campaign. And I think digital and social channels, should imbue that as well. That we're not just schizophrenic, that we're going to speak to you when we want something and then we're going to retreat. So what we try to do, again, through content, is live that purpose, that we're here to back students, that we are there as a support. So here on World Mental Health Day on the 10th of October, we partnered with another charity partner, SOAR, who make fantastic mental health supports available to young people. So we created that content with them. And then what's great about working with partners like this, it does give you credibility and license and permission to speak to these audiences, and then connect them with the people who are available there to help them. Similarly, it's really important to have a look at what's happening in culture, but what are your audiences? What are the challenges that are facing your audiences? And then what supports can you make available at that? So we were able to look at the challenges that schools were going through. And we knew that when the CEO results came out, that because of the way the Leaving Cert was corrected, that it was going to have a direct impact on how the Leaving Cert points were applied. So what we tried to do is we tried to anticipate what challenges they would be going. And when the CEO results came out, we wanted to make a support available. So we got a guidance counselor and had an Instagram live session with them. And that was really nice, that again, we were trying to live that purpose. We were saying that we're backing students, and here's a very palpable demonstration of that if you need support during this difficult time, you contact us on Instagram, and we'll have a qualified specialist there to help you and answer any questions and give you critical support. And it's important to note that it shouldn't just extend to kind of brand purpose in terms of like sustainability or youth campaigns. That product related campaigns should be a focus here as well. What I really like is this statement from David Ogilvy, who said, "Create acts, not ads." And that for me, that's a very palpable expression of living your brand values. So we have a fantastic relationship with Love in Dublin, where we run virtual summits. These used to be physical events and that we would host. And obviously this year we've had to bring all of these online. So we work with Verve WH and Love in Dublin to make these virtual mortgage event summits available. So we have an evening with industry experts where they give advice, not just on the mortgage journey themselves, but critical advice, say from architects or from real estate agents, people who can give kind of critical advice to first-time buyers. And you can see then straight away that this isn't just a transactional relationship. This is content and experiences designed to support first-time buyers, and to really create a point of empathy, but to create real value that can help them on a very tricky first-time buyer journey. And then Love in Dublin have really been kind of critical to that, not just in supplying the advisors, but also in uniting us with these critical audiences and making sure that we're speaking to the right audience in the right tone, and we're creating content that is not just enjoyable, but that is empowering and really lifts the experience overall. To close my presentation, what I really enjoyed this statement from a guy called Hank Kampfer, who's the head of social impact for Hootsuite. And he said that social media started as a mechanism to connect people and to engage people and to build relationships. And now it's returning to its roots. And that's really a direction that we've taken to heart, and it's how we're starting to live our brand purpose through our content. So that's all for me. Very happy to take any questions, if anyone, and if you're too shy on Zoom, feel free to reach out and send me a tweet.